Hi, this is Keeper, and welcome to Direct Selling Live's annual 25 must-have items for direct selling success. You know, we've been doing this for quite a while now, and it's really a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for us because we get to look at a lot of different products, a lot of different tools out there, and kind of put our finger on what we think are just special items out there that we think will have tremendous impact on your business. Now, of course, whenever we do these lists, we're going to have things that, yes, you agree with, no, you don't agree with, and then you're going to have those all too often head scratchers. But that's just part of the territory. Keep in mind, we do this in all seriousness. Even though I like to have a lot of fun with these things, any list that we do, be it the Power 50, the Women of Power, the must-have items list, we do it in all seriousness because we know it could have not only tremendous impact on your business, but it could have great impact on those people or products that we are actually focusing on. Before I go any further, let me say that part of this broadcast is going to be sponsored in part by MLM Black Women. So, let's get into it. What are the 25 must-have items for direct selling success? Well, there's going to be some books. There'll be some technology things. In fact, one technology item won't even be released for another 8 to 12 weeks. But it's so exciting. We've been looking for something like this for such a long time that we felt it had to be added to this list because it's going to be able to bring a tremendous amount of value to your business and can just take it to a whole nother level. So we will be talking about that in just a bit. There's also going to be the books. There are going to be some DVDs. There'll be even a couple of tablets. That's right, you know, software tablets. There'll be a couple of cell phones. There'll even be a camera that we think is really exciting that can have a tremendous impact on your business. So with that said, we're going to look at some of those items that are featured items in this year's must-have 25 items.
No family can survive on 2 incomes anymore, let alone 1. If you are supplementing your family's income working from home, then tune into The Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio. Host Deb Bixler brings you sales tips, lead generation systems, and best business practices that guarantee direct sales success. Whether you're looking for a little extra cash or a career change, The Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio will give you proven systems that will work in your home business. The Cash Flow Show, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on World Talk Radio Variety.
As we look at the featured items, understand that this doesn't mean these are the best items. These are just items that we're featuring. In fact, there's no order to this. There's no number 1 through 25 or 25 through number 1. There's nothing like that. No one item carries any more weight than the next item or the previous item. It just doesn't work that way because how do you put together something like that? First of all, it would be unfair. There'd be a lot of integrity issues, and I'm just not about that at all. But there are some items that we think, because of the nature of what they do and what they represent, may, from our standpoint, be something that we would feature. So with that said, I'm just going to go across, and you can look down at the bottom. The entire list is right down here. But the very first item on the list is Randy Gage's Making the First Circle Work. Randy Gage is one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite trainers, and he's written a lot of great books and put together a number of great audio series. But I think this book, just by the title alone, should tell you how important it is. Making the First Circle Work. Of course, it starts with you. Nothing starts with you without you getting in the picture. In fact, it all begins and ends with you. It's one of our favorite books, and we think everyone should be reading this book. The next item on the list is Expense Tracker. Expense Tracker, it's a very simple application that will help you track the things that you're purchasing so that you know where your money's going. It's one of those items that you say, well, anyone could have done this. This is such a simple thing to do. In fact, I could do it by hand. But trust me, this is one of these app issues, one of these app products that can be on demand, can be extremely powerful. We had this on our list last year, and a lot of people just absolutely loved it. So it's this Expense Tracker. Their catch line is live rich, spend smart. Number 3 is actually a combination of things. Number 3 comes from Tom Bass and Rhonda Johnson at Accountable Solutions. They put together a package of tax and home-based business accounting tools that will help anyone in direct selling and anyone with a home-based business. Granted, these products were created by direct sellers for direct sellers, but anyone with a home-based business should have these two products. These two products actually create one for us because they go in tandem. In fact, one of them fits inside the other. The first item that Tom Bass and Rhonda Johnson have on this list is the Ignite Your Finances Home Business Record Keeping System. It costs $99, but the money that you can save just from the sheer act of taking care of business accounting-wise with your business. The second item that they have is Making Tax a Game, the Ultimate Home Business Tax Book. Now, if you buy the very first item, the Ignite package, that is in, this book is inside this. However, if you don't get the Ignite package and you just want to buy the book, it costs $17. This is worth its weight in gold. Primarily because, as I said, it was written by direct sellers for direct sellers. So anything that has to do with your business from a tax standpoint is in this Ignite package, or it's also, most of it, or in large part, is in this tax book. The next item comes from someone who's just absolutely killing it. She is just absolutely great. She's one of the icon trainers, and this is Mary Christensen. It's one of our featured books. It's Be a Recruiting Superstar. Mary Christensen is just one of the absolute power players when it comes to putting together a party plan. But she's also really, really excellent at recruiting. And this book that she has is absolutely fabulous. In fact, it's now in 15 countries. It's just been translated to Spanish. It recently made, of all book clubs, Amway's Book of the Month Club. Now, we all know Amway very rarely takes anything outside of the Amway family and puts it in front of their people. But Mary Christensen's book is so dynamic. It's so good, it even made the Amway Book Club. Just a quick note here. Mary also has another best-selling book called Be a Party Plan Superstar. This book is going to be available in French in 2013. Mary is just absolutely spectacular. She does absolutely great work. If ever you get a chance to listen to her, go. But by all means, if she puts a product out, I'm suggesting you go out and buy it. The other featured item on the list was already on the list 2 months ago. But it just so happened that a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to acquire it. And that would be MLM Black Woman. The reason why it was on the list 2 months ago is because as we looked at demographic changes in the United States, it showed that minorities were becoming the most populous race, if you look at non-whites, in the United States. Just blacks, Asians, and Hispanics were just absolutely growing the population. So from MLM Black Woman, a site for diversity and women of color, this automatically put them on the list. It just so happened that I had the opportunity to acquire it a few weeks ago, and I did. Diversity is going to be one of the greatest gifts, certainly here in the United States, for direct selling if we seize on it. Certainly, as I said, in light of the fact that non-whites are having more babies, which means they're younger, they're going to be around longer, and they should definitely be in your company's business plan for long term. MLM Black Woman, the site, the largest, fastest growing site for diversity and women of color, is one of our featured items. When I come back, I'm going to talk about the other 20 items. I'll be right back.
When my mother used to sell Princess House.
Joined Amway that night.
Norma siempre vendía cosas de Avon.
Oh, it must have been around 1935.
But those knives were amazing.
The one lady's name was Mary Kay, and I said, oh, cosmetics will never sell on Party Plan.
Was a single mom and created these hair care products for black women and became the first self-made millionaire in the United States. I just think that's extraordinary.
Welcome back to Direct Selling Live's annual 25 must-have items for direct selling success. My name is Keeper. I'm the CEO, founder, creator, president of Direct Selling Live. it's just been a spectacular year for me. A lot of things have been going on, a lot of opportunities. One of my favorite things, one of the favorite just activities I love to do is get involved with our team in putting together this 25 must-have items list. Now, I know that the impact that this has on the people that create these products and services, which is why these aren't necessarily endorsements as much as they are items that we think are really, really good for anyone in direct selling. We have absolutely no financial ties to any of these companies. It just so happened, as I said earlier, that I had the opportunity to acquire MLM Black Woman to be a part of that community. But other than that, there's no financial gain here. Absolutely none. These are just items that we've been looking at and we've come to believe represent direct selling in a really, really great way, and also can do a great deal of positive influence for your business. So let's go on. Newsletters are absolutely something we think a lot of distributors should get into, and IMN has one of the best with their Party Plus. It is a 3-part communications platform designed specifically to help direct sellers. It is part monthly newsletter. It is a call targeting report for distributors and consumers, and the analytics that go to corporate. So everyone's involved in the process. IMN's Party Plus is great. I've been able to look at this for some time. My team has been able to go through it. We absolutely think it's one of the best e-commerce or e-communication programs that are out there. It is really, really spectacular. You can get it at imninc.com. Number 2 is a book that's been around. It's not necessarily a direct selling book, but it is a great book when you're talking about selling the dream. And that would be Guy Kawasaki's Selling the Dream. I ran across this book about 8 or 9 years ago. Guy Kawasaki is one of the evangelists who got Apple and Macintosh out there. This is really a book about how to be an evangelist for your cause, for your opportunity, for your product, for your business. It is written in simple terms, but it's really, really a great read. And everyone in direct selling should be looking at books that talk about how to sell the dream. There's another book that's going to be on this list that takes this to the next level. Next up on the list, this will be the first time that we've ever had an association on this list. This is the DSWA, the Direct Selling Women's Alliance. The DSA, MLMIA, they're great associations. However, the DSWA speaks to the largest, most powerful segment in all of direct selling, and that is women. Upwards of 85% of all distributors are women, and the association that represents them is absolutely one of the 25 must-have items that every woman in direct selling should be a part of. Obviously, men can join. I've been a member for quite some time. But this is the association that every woman in direct selling should be a part of. Nikki Kihoho and Grace Kihoho, they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. Every woman should support them, just like every woman should also support MLM Black Woman. Next up, the Greatest Salesman in the World book or CD. I think anyone who's been in direct selling for some time knows the story of Og Mandino. And we also know the story of this great book of his, The Greatest Salesman in the World. It is an absolute classic for anyone who sells anything, for anyone who believes in anything, for anyone who thinks they don't have what it takes. This, if I were to choose one book, in fact, I have one book on my nightstand, and it is The Greatest Salesman in the World. Next up, I'm going to save this one for last. I'm going to save this for last because it's coming in about 8 to 12 weeks. Let me jump down to one of the best DVDs that we've seen all year. Forward, the network marketing movie. I've watched a lot of DVDs over my 16 years in direct selling. In fact, I go as far back as VHS tapes. But I've watched a lot of movies on how to explain what direct selling really is or what network marketing really is. And the Avaya team has put together a great DVD, Forward, the network marketing movie. It's really good, it's really down to earth, and it could really enhance your message when you're talking to a prospect about the business. It's something you can leave behind, let them view it, come back in a couple of days, ask them, what do you think? What do you think of the aerial view of direct selling? And I guarantee you, most people that are watching this are going to have a very, very positive view of what direct selling is all about. So forward, the network marketing movie. Next up, Networking Times, one of the great training, generic training magazines in all of direct selling. Put together by Chris Gross and Josephine Gross, two of our Power 50 honorees. Josephine Gross is also number 3 on the Women of Power list. What I like about Networking Times is it's generic. You don't have to worry about what company you're with. You've got some of the great authors, the great contributors writing for this magazine, from John Fogg to Randy Gage to Sandy Ellsberg to just a number of great, great people. The other great thing about it is there's not a lot of advertising in it. It is typically a subscription-based magazine at networkingtimes.com, but they have one of the absolute best online stores for products and services that you can use to enhance your business. So Networking Times absolutely is on this list, just like they have been in previous years. I don't know about number, but next up is the book by Karen Phelps, one of the best party plan trainers in all of direct selling. Her book, The Ultimate Guide to Direct Selling, is really great at getting you to understand what it takes to put together a great party plan atmosphere for you, for the hostess that's also a part of this, and their guests. So Karen Phelps, once again, has her book, The Ultimate Guide to Direct Selling. We all are accustomed to social media right now, be it Twitter, Facebook, all of the blog spots, all of the different things, Direct Selling Live, MLM Black Woman, which is also a social community as well. As we look around social media, one of the great questions always is, well, how do I really get a handle on this? How do I put this in my business so I can really make it work for me? Well, the Bible, the absolute Bible, was written by Tamar Weinberg, and it is the New Community Rules, Marketing the Social Web. If there's one book that you can get on understanding social media and putting it into practice, a lot of examples, this is the one book you should have. Tamar Weinberg, we had the book on the list last year. It is a great, great read. I know there are a number of expert social media people here in direct selling. For instance, Jennifer Fong is one of our favorites. She's made our Women in Power in the Power 50. But if it came down for you to having to buy a book, this is it. Let's talk about some technology when I come back.
When my mother used to sell Princess House.
Joined them way that night.
Norma siempre vendía cosas de Avon.
Oh, it must have been around 1935.
But those knives were amazing.
The one lady's name was Mary Kay, and I said, oh, cosmetics will never sell on Party Plan.
Was a single mom and created these hair care products for black women and became the first self-made millionaire in the United States. I just think that's extraordinary.
Welcome back to Direct Selling Live's annual 25 must-have items for direct selling success. Okay, let's take a step back. We've looked at some books, we've looked at a couple of websites, we've looked at an association. Now we're going to get into something that, is going to be interesting for people. A couple of technology pieces. We're going to start out with the tablets. What tablet do you get? Last year, we had the BlackBerry tablet, because it was really, really good. And it also offered something that the iPad didn't have. It had a really great flash media platform, which meant you could watch just about any kind of movie on the internet with it. Most movies that are on the internet are flash-based. So if your company was creating some sort of training that's video-based, or some sort of presentation that's video-based, or some sort of recruiting tool that's video-based, most often you could not play it on the iPad, which is why the BlackBerry got the nod last year. It was really, really good, but now they have been superseded by a couple, we think. Number one is the iPad 4S. This is one slick piece of equipment. And I'm not a big Mac guy. I'm not a big Apple guy, but I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder and harder. This is really cool. And why it makes the list more than anything for us is that it can now play flash video. which means you can go to your company's website and you can bring up the video and not have to worry about, is it compatible with Apple? Is, you know, you don't have to worry about those issues. This is a killer piece of equipment. There's so much you can do, from video casting to, there's just, I don't know, you know, Apple, they're just so head and shoulders above everyone else. If you're not into Apple, we're going to suggest you get the Samsung Galaxy 3 pad. The Samsung Galaxy 3 is another great slick bit of equipment. It's Android based. It's really the closest thing to being in the same ballpark as the Apple iPad. One slick piece of equipment. So if you're not into Apple, we're suggesting the Samsung Galaxy 3. Now, boy, did I trip. Actually, I'm way off. Was just talking about telephones. Jeez. We were just talking about telephones there. So everything that I just said, it goes to telephone. Now I'm going to jump to the pads. The pads, the new iPad. It's really slick. I just told you all about it. But let me just jump back to the phone just a bit. The iPhone, it's the best that's out there. I think we all are in agreement of that. There's not very many things on the market that even come close. So, hands down, the iPhone is it. And even for the phone, from a Galaxy, Samsung wins this as well. This Samsung Galaxy 3 is definitely the phone of choice if you're not into the iPhone. Back to the pad, though. Apple's new iPad, I just explained it. It's absolutely killer. The Galaxy Tab 2, I just explained it, calling it by its phone title, Samsung Galaxy 3S. All that is to say that the Galaxy Tab 2 is a great bit of equipment. It's the closest thing to the iPad. Is it the iPad? No. But it's the closest thing. And it's really, really a good piece of equipment. Let's jump to an audio series. I've had the opportunity to speak to this woman. And she's an absolutely beautiful person. But what makes her even better is this bit of work that she has here. If any of you have ever heard of Train Your Brain, if any of you have ever listened to Dana Wilde talk about what it means to turn on the switch or train your brain so it actually works like what it really is, a muscle. The Dana Wilde's Train Your Brain audio, 6 CD audio, is one of the things you must have. You absolutely must have it. It is beautiful how she explains all this stuff. I love listening to it. So Train Your Brain from Dana Wilde is one of the 25. If you're looking for a website that's about party plans, but more important, if you're looking for a website that has internet radio, we are suggesting you listen to Deb Bixler's Create a Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio. It's one of the most honored radio shows in direct selling. It's one of the most popular radio shows in direct selling. And it's no secret why. She gives away a ton of free stuff every week. She gives away a ton of free training stuff. But more importantly, she brings some of the best guests on her show. And she is really, really good at just giving basic information that can help you build your business. Regardless if you're a party plan person or not, this is a fantastic website for you to visit. There's a lot of great material here. We're going to jump to a book before we take a break. This last book is not a direct selling book, but it is another book about how to sell the dream, understanding who you are and what you bring to the table. It's called It's Not What You Sell, It's What You Stand For. It is a great book, and it's written by Roy M. Spencer Jr. We all talk about telling stories in direct selling. And it's important that everyone in direct selling recognize, as great as your products are, it's about what you stand for. It's about your integrity. It's about your willingness to tell the truth, to help your prospect understand what truth is for them. Whether or not they get into your business or not, it really becomes irrelevant at that point because you're operating from a place of integrity. The book by Roy M. Spencer Jr. is a really great book that will help you understand why it's important that it's not what you sell, it's what you stand for. When I come back, we're going to get into the last 7 or 8 items on this year's Direct Selling Live annual Direct Selling Live's annual 25 must-have items for success list. When I come back.
No family can survive on 2 incomes anymore, let alone 1. If you are supplementing your family's income working from home, then tune into The Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio. Host Deb Bixler brings you sales tips, lead generation systems, and best business practices that guarantee direct sales success. Whether you're looking for a little extra cash or a career change, The Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio will give you proven systems that will work in your home business. The Cash Flow Show, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on World Talk Radio Variety.
Welcome back to Direct Selling Live's 25 must-have items for Direct Selling Success List 2012. Well, let's jump into it. Can you imagine where it is you want to go? I mean, can you really just see it? Can you visualize it? Most people can't, which is why this next product is so critical to your success. It is put out by Orange Peel. It is the Vision Board Studio. It's a downloadable vision board creating package that will help you visualize where it is you want to go. My family, starting with my kids in elementary school, we've been creating vision boards for 15 years. My son just graduated college a couple of days ago. He's one of the best at visualizing what it is he wants because he puts it on a vision board. He's in the moment. He's constantly visualizing his success. And boy, oh boy, 9 times out of 10, he gets it. If you're looking for a great vision board piece of technology, some software, Orange Peel's Vision Board Studio is what you want to get. I was talking a bit earlier about being able to sell the dream, the Guy Kawasaki book. I had a chance to read a book earlier this year called Living Proof. It's an interesting title until you understand what the subheading is all about. Living proof, telling your story to make a difference. You are living proof that your life is a success. You are living proof that your life is working. Now, if you want to use your life as an example for other people, being able to tell the story of your life so that it makes a difference in their life is really what it's all about. Living Proof by John Capizzi and Timothy Gage is the book you want. It's been out for a few years, but it's an absolute dynamite book. LivingProofAdvocacy.com. Next up, a number of us are very familiar with the company Smart Office Solutions. They put out some of the best teleconference lines in the business. But they've just come out with an absolute dynamite text messaging system called TextSmart. We used their text messaging system a couple of years ago. This TextSmart is their old text messaging system on steroids. They recently unveiled it, and it was a huge hit. If you're looking for a short messaging system, text messaging, this is the one for direct selling. Smart Office Solutions, TextSmart. Up next, one of my favorite things, if you like news, if you like information, I don't think there's anything better than On Air with Keeper, my daily television show that's here on Direct Selling Live. We look at everything. We peel back that distributor layer and we look at every issue that impacts the direct seller, which is absolute everything. It's online television. It plays Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Air with Keeper is Direct Selling's only online television show that looks at direct selling in any and everything in the world that impacts it. It is a must-watch, definitely. Ask anyone who's ever seen it. Next up, we come back to Randy Gage. Randy Gage is probably best known for creating the best-selling training system on building a network marketing business. I first ran into this guy almost 20 years ago. I went down to San Diego. But he has really evolved a lot of his training. Like last year, we bring back this product, Duplication Nation, MLM training system. If you're really talking about building residual income, it has to be about duplication. Being able to duplicate you every step of the way, because you are hopefully duplicating your upline, who's hopefully duplicating their upline. Being able to duplicate is what makes McDonald's successful, is what makes Staples successful, it's what makes just about every business or franchise successful, because everyone's doing the same thing. No ifs, ands, buts about it. It's all about duplication, and this system, Duplication Nation, is all about duplicating your way to network marketing success. We're almost down to the last one, but there's one right before it. I happen to think we're in the age of video. All of you, I'm sure, would agree. Having a great video camera is really what it's all about. We are recommending probably one you've never heard before, and that would be the Hero 2 HD from GoPro. GoPro has come out with a camera, and they've been on the market for some time. They've been into motocross. They've been into action sports market. They're one of the top. So anytime you see some sort of action sports reality show, you could pretty much bet this camera was in it. It's about this big, but it is a powerhouse. It can shoot in any number of resolutions. It can shoot 10 still images per second. It does a whole hell of a lot. The Hero camera, under $300. A number of reality shows use this camera. If you're like me and you like Nat Geo Wild and you like wilderness shows, a lot of wilderness shows use this camera. It's absolutely great. Last, let's get to it. This product is going to come out somewhere in August, third quarter of this year. And you're probably saying, Keeper, why would you even mention it? Because it has the power to be this impactful on your business. What is this? It can literally change everything. We've been looking for an app for a long time. A generic app that a distributor can buy outside of their company. Most companies have an app and only their distributors can get it. But who has a generic app that has any kind of power to it? That can do any number of things. It has great features. They are few and hard to come by. Not only that, those that you do come by have nothing to do with direct selling. They don't understand our industry. Well, Leap Factor is coming out with one in mid-August called Sales Factor. It is absolutely dynamite. They're already being used by a number of direct selling companies, their app. But they're coming out with one that's generic, that's for distributors, that will have all the features, all the power of the app that they give to companies. It is spectacular. We've been looking at this thing for the past few days. I got my first whiff of it a month ago reading direct selling news. It is really a spectacular piece. Well, that does it for this year's annual 25 must-have items for the success list. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Continue coming back to it. These items are some of the most powerful, best items to help you build your business, and we think you should absolutely have all 25. Have a great day.